Sorry. So, you know, it was money, 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 money. Money, baby, I gotta make money. Money, 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 money. And then a funny thing happened along the way. I made some money. So I made some money, and I bought a nice house in a nice neighborhood, and I bought my dream car, which was a 1986 Ferrari Testarossa. I'll never forget. And I put it in the garage, and I was super excited. And I was like, I don't know, 26, 27 years old. And I thought, yeah, baby, I made it. Because in my scheme of life, I couldn't imagine more. My biggest obstacle in life has been my inability to think big. That was my dream. I want to have a house, I want to own a Ferrari, and I'm done. So I move into this neighborhood, and I meet my neighbor, Richard, one of my best friends to this day. I say, hey, Richard, want to see my Ferrari? He's like, sure! We go in, I show him the Ferrari, and he says, oh, that's really beautiful. He says, you want to see my garage? I'm like, sure. So we walk down the street, we go into his garage, he opens it up, he's got 2 Ferraris. I gotta tell you, I remember it as though it happened yesterday. I was devastated. You can't imagine how hard I worked to buy 1. And this guy had 2. I couldn't, how does somebody make enough money to buy 2 Ferraris? So I looked at that and where I was in life, and I said, I can't imagine getting there. I had a little computer business, and I thought it was great, but I realized I was never going to get there. And that's okay, but I wanted to do more. Now, I didn't want to do more because I wanted to buy more Ferraris. There's nothing wrong with cars or jets or any of that stuff. But I realized at 26 years old, I got to achieve more. For no other reason than there's more to be done. So a good friend of mine said, you got to stop chasing the money, and you got to find something that you're great at. Because if you're great, the money will follow you. So I literally went back to my office, and I had this computer company, and we were okay at what we did. And I said, okay is not good enough anymore. Everything I do from today on will be to pursue some level of greatness. And if I get there, I know I'll make a lot of money. And if I fall short, I'll still be farther ahead than living in the middle. And so we went back and we got to the computer security business, which was a long time ago. Most of you weren't born. And the business became big, and we did very, very well. And we became very successful. And so that's kind of been always my guiding principle is you got to love what you do, and you got to try to be great at something. And the funny thing is, people will tell you, you got to be a rounded person. And I'm here to tell you, it's a bunch of crap. Nobody cares about your weaknesses. Nobody. I'm a big NFL football fan. I was golfing, I was saying, last week with Gordon Campbell at Augusta. It was fantastic. And Peyton Manning was there. So Peyton Manning gets paid, I think, about $10 million a year to throw a football. He doesn't get paid $10 million a year to block. He doesn't get paid $10 million a year to play defense. He gets paid $10 million a year to do one thing and do it at a world-class level. When I started out in business, everybody said to me, you got to be rounded. You got to take your weaknesses and you got to improve on them. What I've learned is to compete at a world-class level, you've got to find one thing that you're great at and become world-class at it. The hard thing at your age is you think you're great at everything. You've got to find that 1 or 2 things that you're truly, truly great at. So here's another couple of things. So before I spoke, I said, what do I know today that I didn't know when I was your age? And you that continually trying to be better will keep me going, whereas continually trying to make more money gets really, really difficult. We do an American show called Shark Tank, and this year on Shark Tank, we have a guy named Mark Cuban on the show. So Mark is the 400th richest guy in the world. So I have a plane, and I love my plane, and my plane is really big. Well, guess what? Mark Cuban's plane is really big, right? He's the only guy to ever buy a jet online. He paid $55 million for a Gulfstream, never saw it, ordered it online. How cool is that? The guy, this is Mark Cuban's life. He flies around in his $55 million jet with the Dallas Mavericks that he owns, and during the season, he goes to every city that they play in and sits behind the bench during every game. How great is that? Like, that guy is a fun-loving guy. And again, you know, he loves what he did. He was in the technology business. So some of the other stuff that I know today that I didn't know then, in no particular order, you've got to stand up for yourself, and you've got to communicate. Nobody is going to give you a chance to listen to you. Nobody really cares about you except your mom and dad. And guess what? They have to care about you because they're your family. When you get out in the real world, if you have a great idea, you have that once-in-a-lifetime fantastic, going to make $100 million a year idea, if you can't communicate it to another human being, it's worth zero. If you have the inability to communicate, you will have a very, very difficult time being successful. Or you'll get taken advantage of by somebody who does have the ability to communicate. Because there are so many things in life that are simply about taking something that exists and making it better. I've been doing the show in Canada for 7 years, the American show for 2 years, and I'm a little bit jaded. Most people that aren't successful think that people making a lot of money and something that's never been invented before. Right? The better mousetrap. People believe if you invent the better mousetrap, the world will be the path to your door. I gotta tell you, it doesn't work that way. Most things are simply an evolution of an existing idea. You don't want to be a pioneer because pioneers get slaughtered when they go to a new country. There's very, very few net new ideas. Was Google the first search engine? Right? Was Microsoft the first operating system? Was it even the best operating system? I mean, you guys know that story, that when Microsoft started out, IBM needed an OS for the personal computer. They went to 6 people to work out a deal. All 6 people wanted too much money to license their operating system. Bill Gates said, I'll give it to you for free, but I retain the right to it. Not a better product, not a better technology, just a better way. So the one thing I've learned about being on TV is you got to be out there. You cannot be shy when it comes time to shine. So I call this humble arrogance. On one end of the extreme, you have Kevin O'Leary, who is so arrogant that unless you have a lot of money, people don't want to do business with you, right? So you don't want to be that guy, but at the same time, you don't want to be the shy, quiet, sitting in the back, super nice guy. I'm going to raise my voice. It's okay. Just get along. You know what? That doesn't work either. It's just as bad. Humble arrogance. You got to stand up for yourself. Because when I was your age, I was a very quiet, a little bit introverted, didn't want to be out there.